Most people wake up on autopilot, dragging themselves out of bed without realizing they've just missed the best opportunity of the day. What most don't know is that there's a specific time when the body and mind are at their peak receptivity. And no, this isn't just motivational talk. There are real biological and energetic reasons behind it. Those who understand this can start their day with more clarity, focus, and even speed up their personal growth. But what is this special time? And why do those who take advantage of it experience changes that others don't even think are possible? The human mind is like a scale. On one side, you have logic structured and rational. On the other, intuition fluid and spontaneous. In the body, this balance is reflected in two energy channels: Ida, which flows through the left side, bringing a more introspective and creative state, and Pingala, which runs through the right side, sparking action and logical clarity. The problem? Most people spend their lives swinging between these two extremes without balance. This leads to stress, emotional instability, and mental fog. But those who learn to harmonize these internal forces unlock a new level of clarity and stability. Think about trying to work when your mind is all over the place, or attempting to meditate when you're stuck in overthinking mode. Tough, right? That's exactly what happens when Ida and Pingala are out of sync. But there are simple techniques to bring them back into balance. One effective method is alternate nostril breathing. Inhale through the left nostril to activate intuition, and through the right to enhance logical thinking. This ancient yoga practice can completely transform your day. Another trick: pay attention to which nostril is more active when you wake up. It can tell you what kind of energy is dominant at that moment. When these two channels are balanced, your mind becomes a powerful ground for creativity and effective action. You know those days when everything just flows effortlessly? That's because your internal energies are naturally aligned. Balancing Ida and Pingala is like tuning a musical instrument. When everything is in sync, harmony emerges. But to keep this state, it's crucial to understand the natural flow of energy in your body. And this is where your breath reveals one of its most powerful secrets. Every 48 minutes, your breathing naturally switches sides without you even noticing. Now, this might seem like a small detail, but it actually says a lot about your physical and mental state. When your breath flows more through the left nostril, your body shifts into a relaxed, introspective, and receptive mode. But when the right nostril takes over, you get a boost in action, logical thinking, and alertness. The issue? Most people are completely unaware of this rhythm, which means they're not using it to their advantage. But once you start paying attention, you'll see how this tiny shift can completely change your productivity, mood, and overall well-being. Want a practical example? If you're feeling drowsy before an important task, try blocking your left nostril and breathing only through your right for a few minutes. This stimulates Pingala, boosting your energy and mental clarity. Now, if your mind is racing before bed, do the opposite. Block your right nostril and breathe only through your left, activating Ida, the relaxation channel. Over time, this simple practice becomes a powerful tool to adjust your energy based on what you need in the moment. But this alternating breath cycle isn't random. It's synced with your body's internal rhythms and even the natural cycles of the day. When we align our awareness with these cycles, we can tap into deeper states of balance and clarity. That's why many spiritual traditions recognize specific times of the day as energy portals. And if there are moments when your breath and energy are at their most receptive, then the next big question is, when exactly does this happen? There are 4 key moments in the day when nature shifts, and these changes don't just affect the world around you, they also influence your body and mind. Before sunrise at noon, during sunset, and at midnight, the planet's energy undergoes a drastic transition. These periods, known as Sandhya Kalas, have been recognized for thousands of years as prime windows for spiritual practices, because consciousness is more sensitive at these times. It's as if the door between the physical and subtle worlds briefly opens. But most people go through these phases completely unaware. If you've ever felt more reflective or energized at dawn, or noticed that sunset carries a sense of nostalgia, it's not a coincidence. Modern science confirms that during these times, there are hormonal shifts, atmospheric pressure changes, and even variations in the Earth's magnetic field. No wonder monks, meditators, and spiritual seekers use these moments to deepen their practices. A simple tip: try sitting in silence at sunrise and just observe. This practice not only brings mental clarity, but also helps sync your energy with the natural flow of life. The big question is, if there are times when your body's energy naturally aligns with the universe, what else can you do to maximize this? How can you use these windows to strengthen your intuition and balance your inner forces? The answer lies in how the mind operates between logic and intuition. And understanding this dynamic might just be the key to functioning in a more harmonious and effective way. From an early age, we're trained to trust logic. If there's no rational explanation, it doesn't make sense, right? But the truth is, some of life's biggest decisions don't come from mathematical calculations. They come from a gut feeling. Intuition is that quiet voice that knows before your conscious mind does. A good example: many great inventors and entrepreneurs say their best ideas came out of nowhere, when they were relaxed or in a moment of silence. The problem is, most people ignore this inner sense, relying only on what can be measured or scientifically proven. But think about it: how many times have you just felt that something was right or wrong without a clear explanation? And later, you found out that feeling was spot on. That's the power of intuition. In the past, entire cultures relied on it. Healers, navigators, and warriors trusted this sharp instinct to make quick, effective decisions. Today, research shows that the human brain processes patterns at an unconscious level, often picking up on information before we even realize it. In other words, intuition isn't mystical. It's a biological tool refined by experience and sensitivity. So, how can you strengthen this ability? Start with small daily practices. Trust your first instinct in simple decisions. Pay attention to how your body feels when making choices, and observe how your mind reacts before logic takes over. When intuition and reason work together, life flows much more smoothly. And if logic alone was enough, why do so many people feel internally conflicted even when they've done everything right? Maybe the key is learning to steer the mind with more balance. Thinking that logic alone can solve everything is like trying to drive a car with only two wheels turning. You might move forward, but the ride will be rough. The logical mind is great for analysis, calculations, and planning, but without intuition, it becomes rigid and limited. On the other hand, relying only on intuition without rational direction can lead to impulsive and unfounded decisions. The key is using both sides of the mind as a well-coordinated team. The question is, how do you balance this in daily life without forcing one over the other? A practical way to test this balance is by applying it to small decisions. For example, when picking a book to read, let your intuition guide your choice, but use logic to check if the topic will actually benefit you. Or before making a business deal, analyze the numbers but also tune in to whether it feels right. Over time, this process becomes second nature. Great leaders and innovators aren't just skilled strategists, they also have a sharp instinct for opportunities that pure logic alone wouldn't catch. Steve Jobs, for instance, often said that intuition is more powerful than intelligence. When logic and intuition work together, decision-making becomes smoother and with fewer internal conflicts. Instead of getting stuck in endless dilemmas, you feel the right direction and confirm it with rational analysis. That doesn't mean everything will always be perfect, but life becomes a whole lot easier. And if there are certain moments in the day that can amplify this synergy between logic and intuition, why not take full advantage of them? There are specific time windows when the mind naturally becomes more receptive, and understanding this can be a game changer. Have you ever noticed that certain times of the day seem to carry a different kind of energy? That's not just in your head. For thousands of years, spiritual traditions have identified specific moments when the mind and body become more receptive. Before sunrise, at noon, during sunset, and at midnight, the energy around us shifts dramatically, making these ideal times for meditation, breathwork, and introspection. And it's not just ancient wisdom. Science has already shown that our circadian rhythms influence hormone production and mental states, directly impacting how we think and feel. That's why practices like meditation and pranayama are even more effective during these moments. Try waking up just a little earlier and spending the first few minutes of your day in silence, simply observing your breath. Or at sunset, take a moment to sit still and feel the transition from day to night. These small adjustments can have a profound impact on your mental clarity and emotional balance. In many cultures, monks and spiritual practitioners take advantage of these times to connect with something greater, knowing that in these moments, the mind can reach deeper levels of awareness. Now, if time affects our mind and energy, it makes sense to ask, is there one specific time that's more powerful than the rest? Among all these transitions, there's a special window with the potential to transform your inner connection and elevate your state of consciousness. A time that could be the key to unlocking something most people don't even know exists. This moment is known as Brahma Muhurta, which happens roughly 90 minutes before sunrise. The name, translated from Sanskrit, means the Creator's hour, because it's when the planet's energy is at its most subtle and supportive of higher awareness. Many spiritual teachers, including Sadhguru, recommend waking up during this period for meditation, yoga, or simply sitting in silence. Your mind is clearer, free from the distractions of the day, and your body is in a state where regeneration and knowledge absorption are at their peak. Now, does this mean everyone needs to wake up before a.m.? Not necessarily. What matters most is understanding that a natural rhythm exists, and aligning your routine with these key moments can bring profound benefit. If waking up that early feels impossible, at least try shifting the first thing you do in the morning to something that brings presence and connection. Avoid grabbing your phone the second you open your eyes. Instead, spend a few minutes breathing consciously, stretching your body, or even sipping tea in silence. Small habits, done at the right time, can transform your energy for the entire day. Most people overlook how time influences their mind and emotions, living in a chaotic, directionless flow. But those who understand how to use natural cycles to their advantage access a level of clarity and stability that seems out of reach for everyone else. Now that you know the power of this special time, the question is, will you keep ignoring this window of transformation, or will you start using it to your advantage? How different would your life be if, instead of waking up and rushing straight into daily problems, you started each morning with clarity and purpose? Small adjustments to your routine can bring results most people never experience. So why not try it for a few days and see for yourself the impact it can have? And if you want to keep going on this journey of self-discovery and learn more ways to unlock your full potential, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications right now. Here, you'll find the teachings no one talks about, but that can completely change your life.